I'm Larry Farver, and this is Queer News Tonight, Overtime. Let's queer up gay culture. Gays talk about why they are happy to share intimate photos with their faces showing. Well, do you share revealing photos online or via dating apps? It's a hot topic amongst queer men and also sparked a lively Reddit discussion on the Ask Gay Bros Over 30 subreddit. A 50-something asked why many men post intimate photos with their faces visible. He wrote, quote, "It's hot, but I can't imagine doing that myself. I would feel too exposed and afraid of family and friends seeing them." What is the mindset of those who do? Are they simply more brave than I am? End quote. Many commenters, including a 37-year-old, said they shared face-visible nudes and dismissed fearful concerns. One person said, quote, "Nobody actually cares about my nudes," end quote, adding that over a period of time, his family, friends, and even coworkers stumbled upon his photos. Others echoed the sentiment, sharing, quote, "Most people are busy with their own lives," end quote, while others cautioned against overthinking. The comment assured, quote, "Your sexuality is yours. Submitting it to others, limiting opinions is negative," end quote. However, not everyone was so carefree. Some warned about sextortion risks, especially from strangers seeking to shift conversations to other platforms. One user shared an experience of an internet stranger linking his personal and professional identities to troll him. For some, their family dynamics shaped their choices. One account said, quote, "I have gay relatives. None of us want to stumble on each other's nudes," end quote, adding that he preferred one-on-one sharing instead. The debate reflects generational and professional divides. Older men seemed less concerned, while those in corporate roles saw more risks. A recent survey suggested that gay men were 3 times more likely to share intimate pictures with their faces. Sexual health experts suggest that a leading contributor to gay men's more ambitious shares is because of the explosion of the dating apps like Grindr and Scruff. With dating apps evolving, questions about privacy, exposure, and societal norms remain pressing. The takeaway? Well, whether you share or not, the decision and its consequences are uniquely yours. Well, there's many things to look at, and I think this table is ready to make some comments. I would have to say that it's a personal choice. Certainly, I think you look at, the straight community, and people are not bashful about sharing their Tinder apps or who they are and what they're about, even celebrities. I think being from an older generation, tail end of baby boomers, I would probably be a little bit more conservative, but I think it's because of some of the societal or the social media policies that some corporations have. And having an HR background, sometimes I would say, well, if that's what I was out doing, I have to remember, there are some companies now that say what you put out on social media, you have to be very careful to disassociate then that relationship, whatever you're posting, to the company or representing the company. So, certainly I wouldn't run around with a banner with my company if I was posting and looking for a date, so to speak. What do you all think?
Well, unless you're selling a show.
Well, we'll talk about
it's just broadly, it's not nudity, but you can't look at LGBT media, even in the media platform. I love Advocate, Out, Queerty, Pink News, LGBT Nation. Sure. You cannot look at the daily feeds without a very significant percentage of the stories being some thirst trap of the shirtless or the bikini laden or underwear laden, not nudity, but they get to the same conceptual idea as close as you possibly can get. And I always wonder, well, would I see this at MSNBC or Associated Press or Fox News or it seems to me it's a very unique, especially, let's say broadly LGBT, because we don't want to exclude, but a gay men's or people interested in gay men's thing. And this is just the next step of that, because we watch this in our LGBT media every single day, and probably nobody even thinks about it. It says something about our culture, our queer culture, that we do this. And Grindr, and the real interesting thing to me is the Grindr and a Scruff and others, did it help propel us to this? Interesting in the story you just did, we're 3 times more likely, percentage-wise, to see gay men do this versus straight men. Is that because of a Grindr environment that we're just so sex positive? Let's use, there's no shaming here.
Right.
That we're just so positive about it, we don't have any problem with it. Or generally, we have less problem with it than our straight counterparts. It's interesting to me on how Grindr has really affected us. You know?
It's evolved the platform itself too, because it's not just gay men on there. You have transgender people on there too, and so it opens up a whole variety. For me, I've used the app for a few years now, and it's taken me a while to to be comfortable in my own body and what I want to share, not that I'm showing nudes, but, enough that, what, for me, it feels like, I have no clothes on, but, I just get to a point in my life where I just don't care anymore. Yeah. And you know what? And I have more freedom, and I'm blessed because I do work for an LGBTQ plus nonprofit organization. So I understand that I'm fortunate for that. But, like Larry alluded to, with corporate America and other people that, you have to be, kind of pick and choose and have to realize sometimes you might have to stay in your own lane a little bit. But, as long as you're not hurting people and as long as you're not taking those baits, you know what I mean? Sometimes you get those people looking for that scam and stuff, and you have to educate yourselves because, sometimes that affects generation people that, may not understand that, somebody as clever as somebody like me, I can definitely look at it and say, oh, well, that's just a spam. I'm just going to ignore it. But some people fall into that. And so you have to be careful. And talking about these things, opens up that conversation that you may not have, with, somebody that may look on an app and is not, can't show their face or their body. There's profiles with blank on it too. So, it's interesting, as it evolves and as more people become comfortable, I think the society starts to change too.
Well, it's been noted too that some people use it strictly as a social platform, and it's not necessarily always sexual. It's
true.
It's a social networking. Maybe they certainly the attraction to the friendship.
Am I old-fashioned to go using Grindr as a social interaction fashion? Oh my God! Am I just too?
It's
concerned?
another way to keep yourself isolated.
Oh,
because so many people, older
Good
men,
point.
they want to go to an isolation.
Is it inappropriate for me to comment?
Oh no!
Never.
You prompted 2 thoughts for me. One is, as a board member at Stonewall Museum, I'm into history, right? And I've helped in the archives, and I happen to have read some things also that since we've had the ability to take photographs and print them, gay men have enjoyed sharing nudes with each other because men are known to be more visually oriented when it comes to attraction, recognizing beauty, etc., than women.
Right.
And so this has always been part of our gay male culture. As opposed to in the heterosexual culture, the boys are looking at the girls. So to your point about are the mainstream websites or news stations showing people that are half dressed? Yeah, but they're mostly girls because the guys are looking at the girls because if they're heterosexual, that's who they're looking at. And there's a long history also of exploiting female nudity with or without their permission. So, I think that from a feminist viewpoint or from a gay history viewpoint, either way, this does seem like a natural progression to me.
That's fascinating. Yeah. Well, this has been Queer News Tonight over time. There is no other LGBTQ nonprofit media platform like this in the world. Support our LGBTQ plus stories by subscribing and sharing.